Yep.
All right, Gary, when you're ready, let's connect him to Kyle Moat. We had Kyle on the show. We talked about one application of fish brew, increased yields, increased nutrient density, increased energy, increased mineral uptake, increased nutrient across the board.
Decreased nitrogen use.
Decreased no nitrogen, zero nitrogen.
That's a good decrease.
Zero pesticides used. No problems. Plant health was there. So I think in many ways that, if he can talk to Kyle about this, because Kyle was scared shitless. He was like, jumping off a cliff because he's planted 200 acres of corn. If he loses that 200 acres, he's out of fucking business, right? He can't afford to take a hit like that. So, having Kyle with the confidence now to talk to someone who does not have that confidence in switching might be hugely beneficial. And then if he combines that with the application of fish brew, you're going to get the triple whammy. You're going to get just what Kyle got. You're going to have incredible plant growth, incredible nutrient, incredible pest resistant, across the boards. And like you said, if I can show to him he can make more money, work less hard, why wouldn't he? Right? And that was always the biggest sell with farmers was they don't get a penny saved as a penny earned. They just don't fucking get it. And so that's where Kyle would come in and knock him around a little and say, dude, look, I saved my bushel price per production of corn was a quarter of what the other guys paid. And I had a bigger yield.
Yeah.
Fucking no brainer to me, man.
Yep.
And perhaps the breaking down of glyphosate will also reduce fusarium, which should also reduce the inhibition of manganese uptake.
Yep. Yep. As well as crown rot, all of those. Mm-hmm. All of those.
What type of application rates are we talking about here?
We use 5 gallons per acre diluted to whatever your spray equipment is required with fish brew.
Okay.
Mo is 10-to-1 dilution ratio. So that's significant. So my gut feeling, I don't want to speak on this, Mo, unless you've got.
Yeah, well, I'll even say so. Right now, we've been going at 10-to-1 on the dilution rate, and we're in the process. We're going to test diluting it even further because one of the entities that we're discussing, they want to see us go up to 100-to-1 dilution rate. So we're just gradually stepping it up to see where that line's going to be. And so far, like I said, we've been running just at the 10-to-1 at the moment. But we're going to go 20, 30, 40, 50. And we're just going to keep it going and see how far.
The breakdown of glyphosate was at a 10-to-1.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was just talking about the dilution to apply product. The glyphosate. I have to look at the white paper to see what the concentrations were. And we'll be happy to send that over to you. But it was we did a low, medium, and high level concentration of the glyphosate, and that was just specifically put into here's the plant matter, here's the glyphosate levels, and then they processed it. Yeah. And then just showed the reduction.
Yeah, the ratio when we're talking about diluting 10-to-1 or 50-to-1 is just on the product as it comes out.
The output.
Eventually. So we send it as a concentrate, but dilute it down at that point.
Yeah.
So when we process a glyphosate, it was with just what we use all the time in the digester.
And you know what? Something else that I think we need to speak on here is the fact that the combination of bacteria that Mo uses is very similar to the species that I use that solubilize and degrade. So they're not just decomposers. There's a whole suite of these guys. And anytime I've been in a situation where I've got to clean up coal tar, hydrocarbons, atrazine, I'm using very, very similar suite of organisms that he does. He's just taking it to another level. So again, this juice will degrade compounds that you do not want in your soil over a period of time based on the dilution. So if you have horribly polluted soils, you'd probably want to keep the dilution ratio up or low so that you're getting a greater application, a heavier application of the product. But again, you know, that's the key to this whole thing, is that you're not just dealing with decomposers. You're dealing with organisms that can start to break these things back down to their original safe forms, whether it's atrazine, Roundup, it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's a brave new world that Mo's uncovered here. For sure.
Yeah, like I said, it's pretty exciting. And yeah, the other thing that, to just go a little more onto your point there, is yeah, if when you're growing plants, you're growing your crops, you want that concentrate to be more diluted, and we have we've seen that, and actually with poor Ron at his house up in Tahoe, when we applied the straight concentrate to his plants all around his house, and just everything went into shock. I mean, it was crazy. It came back, but that was when we were like, ooh, maybe that's not such a good idea. So when it's important for plant growth to have that dilution level. But when you hey,
reach out, Ecosphere Sciences, get a hold of these guys.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get the web address, email, phone number, all that put up here. But yeah, if you're going to be accomplishing a soil remediation and regeneration types of thing, yeah, more concentrated, the better. So absolutely agree. There we go. ecospheresciences.com.
So I don't know if we have time to pull up those biologicals. Again, they probably don't mean a lot to the audience. And again, once we get our act together in assembling all of this data, we can make it in a more presentable bars and graphs and, you know, colors and stuff that's easier to read than just these numbers across lines.